I first started looking at Carnaby's cockatoos back in the early 1990s, mainly for a production of a big handbook of the birds of Western Australia that the museum were working on. And I realised that although we had a lot of information on Carnabys for certain parts of the state, it was lacking in other parts. But that site at Carnaby, I used to visit in the 1970s on my way to do research on seabirds, actually at Greenhead and Jurien Bay. So that is a well-known site for us, and it's was one of the few known breeding sites that was quite accessible. The museum plays a fairly major role in environmental management, mainly through, especially with endangered species, mainly through looking at the distribution, status, breeding seasons, nests, eggs, food requirements, and migration and movement of species. And our work with the Iluka goes back for over 2 decades. They've been marvellous at environmental management, particularly in revegetation, but in also allowing us to get into some of their sites at Eneabba, at Carnaby, and in the southwest, where we've been able to expand our cockatoo research project to look at the species right throughout the southwest corner. With endangered species, unless we know enough about their distribution, their foraging, their feeding habits, their migration and movements, it's very difficult to try and protect them. And that's one of the main roles of the museum, looking at distribution, status, breeding seasons, nests, eggs, migration and movements, what times of the year they're moving, so that we can actually look at their conservation, not only where they're breeding but and where they're foraging, but also in their winter quarters down on the coastal plain.